Welcome back to Super Tuesday Recap. This is your host, Chris and Deepom here. And we are back to review Arrow Season 6, Episode 18, Fundamentals. In his darkest place yet, Oliver wonders if he has failed at everything. Oliver lashes out at Felicity and William. A surprising visit from an old friend has Oliver questioning his next move. I wouldn't call Adrian Chase in his mind an old friend.
No, I think I think friend is strong there.
that's a little, the murderer of his son's mother and supreme torturer and big bad of last season. I wouldn't call that friend per se.
Like friends overstepping.
Just a little bit, just a little bit over the boundaries here. So I mean, you figure out pretty quickly in this episode that I figured out pretty quickly that Oliver was hallucinating and that.
So when did you figure it out?
After the first pounding, I was like, okay, something's going on. He's hearing something. And then the second time, I was like, it's vertigo. Because I remember that they had said vertigo gives you hallucinations. So it was actually pretty early on that I was like, it's vertigo. Now, who did it and how they got him, I didn't get until they were like, it was a council member. Then I was like, well, that makes sense, but still.
Right.
Like, you got to put the entire Star City in rice right now, right?
At a certain point. So, have the writers created a situation where the city has to die? I'm not entirely sure. How do you resolve this?
Everybody's got to go.
They tried to show the cops were reluctantly on the take, but that doesn't work.
No. It doesn't. I'm sorry. That little
wash.
The opening with the cops going, yeah, man. My wife just I couldn't tell her, she wouldn't get it. I'm like,
what?
Yeah, that's not gonna help, guys. That's not making me feel the love here, and I'm not gonna feel sorry for you. So that's not. When
you catch these arrows.
I mean, remember the DA basically has a sick child or a sick wife or something like that, and that didn't make me feel any kind of care. So you basically doing it because you're in debt. I'm sorry, dude. Doesn't really fly for me. So yeah, at this point, how do you save? We can get to the Oliver stuff in a minute. How do you save Star City from itself? Because it's rotted from the inside out. The call is coming from inside the house,
right?
And granted, I mean, we can say that we've been here before. Quinn has been turn and you've gotten some things here and there, but at this point it seems like it's everybody, not just one or two people. You're actually almost shocked when they fired those other 5 cops that weren't dirty. I was like, that's because the rest of the that's the thing. They fired the people that weren't dirty. It was 5 people.
That was 2 overtime shifts.
Mm-hmm.
y'all can pick this up easy,
right? Meanwhile, everybody, and it doesn't seem like anybody's hesitant.
Remember when there was a reporter who was involved in the show in some tertiary way? She was sleeping with Oliver. Remember there was a reporter at one point.
There was, and I believe
maybe someone should report about this.
An investigative reporter that actually does some work and jobs. I don't know, or maybe they could call somebody who used to be an investigative reporter that maybe works for the Fast Man a lot.
Just bring in Lois Lane and don't ever mention Superman.
Right. I mean, there's ways to do this, but I don't know. And the other thing too,
you've chosen nothing. They've made no decision. It's just we're gonna pretend maybe we'll make it. No.
Well, another thing too is the cops don't seem hesitant. So at this point, if you're working on Diaz's take, you either know for sure that Oliver Queen is the Green Arrow, or you have a pretty strong suspicion that he is. So my question then becomes, you're basically you're taking on the mayor of the city, and you're saying you're doing it reluctantly, but you also seem to be doing it without any hesitation. So
the checks are clearing, right?
Right, yeah. So I have so many questions. Also, did Oliver kill those cops?
Oliver may have killed those cops.
I mean, I mean, before we even get to
I'm not mad. I'm not just. That's not coming from a place of judgment. It's coming from a place of factual. Oliver killed those cops.
I mean, look. Before we even get to the other stuff of the episode, I had a lot of questions at the beginning. I'm just like, okay, so he between the beginning and the very, very end with Diaz, I was like, okay, he killed those cops. Now Diaz is just openly in the police station. You're right. What are the reporters of the city doing? Are they on the
Who gonna
take
check?
too?
Like Diaz, like who gonna check me?
Like they're literally like because I was watching them go like Oliver do Oliver do. I'm sorry, I was watching Oliver be the hood because he really he was on some hood shit. All right, Oliver's back on the hood shit, and he's shooting cops, arrows all over the place. There's bullets over the place, bullet holes. I'd have to wonder if you're a cop and you're a reporter and you do know that there's this whole turmoil thing going between the police department, the mayor, city hall, all this shit going on. When you show up to get a statement just because, part of your beat is talking to cops, you show up the next day and there's glass everywhere, there's bullet holes in the walls, there's shells on the ground. Do you not start asking questions of, hey, what happened last night?
There's no one here who's not on the tape. Like, that's the thing.
Right.
Diaz is the king of Star City.
Which goes back to my whole thing of, so just put Star City in rice. Like,
we need another undertaking. Like, now we're going to go back to this Malcolm Merlyn was right in season 1.
Oh, shit. I'm glad you said it because I really had that in my notes. Like, Malcolm Merlyn was right.
It's like, is the big bad the whole series Oliver's dad for getting in the way of progress?
I mean, like, part of the whole thing, like, nobody said it. But like when fake Adrian Chase was in his mind saying like, you forgot the mission, you forgot what you were doing. I'm like, yeah, you got to clean the city.
You did it.
You kind of did, man, because these motherfuckers have been. Diaz was right under your nose, and he literally has taken over everything here. And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, that was, and again, none of that is bad for me. Like to me, the problem I have with this episode, and we'll get into more details with it, was the same thing I had with the Flash episode last week. I feel like it's really late in the season
for this, yeah,
because it's like, having Oliver have this internal struggle through the vertigo and the hallucinations with Adrian Chase confronting him about, and Oliver deciding, what kind of person he is and has he spread himself too thin. These are all, I feel like all this is valid.
Have him question this stuff before things fall apart.
And that's what I'm saying. Like all this
by having him do it afterwards, it's like, you don't need a drug for that. You just need like 2 glasses of decent scotch and like a little time alone.
Right. You sit you just
asking these hard fucking questions.
You just need to sit down there, like you said, drinking some whatever that hard shit that they used to him and Diggle used to drink at least once a fucking season.
Off-brand deep Russian fucking vodka.
Right. That shit that will put some hair on your fucking chest while you're looking at all your fucking suits of people that are no longer fucking there going, maybe I did get a little out of hand here. I have an arrow cave. I have all this stuff going on. I'm being a mayor. So it's again.
We have a spin-off team.
Right. We have the outsiders. It's like, what are we doing here? I don't know what's going on here. What I did lose my way. Like, you didn't need vertigo for that. You just, like you said, just needed some, some hard liquor and some reflection.
Little self-reflection.
Right. And again, like it makes sense, it's fine, but I just feel like now that we've gotten this, and it feels like this is the entire time since they revealed Diaz as being the guy. I feel like we wasted so much time on Caden James that if you had knocked out like half of those episodes and had this, like if you had this happen around the break, you would have been like, and Oliver basically going, yo, yeah, I need to. I need to get back and doing this by myself, which we all know is a bad idea.
Terrible idea.
But like, it would have made sense because it's like, okay, yeah, man.
It would have been an in-character bad decision.
Right. Now it feels like, I feel like we're trying to go back now and forget some of the stuff like he's done. Like, I don't know. It feels out of place. But again, the same thing I said with the Flash episode where, on its own, again, has issues, but not bad, and it's fine. But when you put it in context of the entire season, it just feels. I just want those writers for Flash and Arrow to reorder shit. Like I feel like, and we know this is true for the Flash last season. It feels like they don't have it all planned out before they start the season, and so they come back from break, and they're like, okay, now what do we do? And that's fine because it's not like they're bad episodes, but they don't flow for the season.
Right.
And that's my problem here. I mean, there were some good moments in here, like when Oliver gets confronted, with Laurel in the hospital, because I'm sitting in the back of my mind going, don't you let them put this shit on you, Oliver. You know damn well Laurel went out and did that shit on her own. He basically said, just like, yo, if I told you no, you would have done it anyway. You know?
It was funny, though, because Chase was like, he said something that I think we've said, like, she took like a Tybo tape. Like, why is she out there?
Yo, that shit was great. Yeah, she was like,
I was like,
not wrong.
I know it's hallucination, but on some level, that means Oliver knows this is true too.
Well, it's like what the fake Adrian Chase said. It's like, yo, I'm in your head. Like, so technically,
I'm not gonna go away. I'm in your head.
Well, it also technically means that it wasn't Adrian Chase saying that. It was Oliver saying that because he knows it's true. Just like when they showed, so you know when they fucked up, right? They fucked like this could have worked.
You fucked up. Right?
It could have worked until you showed him Renee, and then he was like, "Oh, come the fuck on!"
Oh, fuck this, dude. No. I love how Renee's the one that even Oliver's like, nope.
Right?
Like, nope. Oliver was guilty about everything. That one is like, well, I told him what not to do. He did it, so I had to do what I had to do. Like, I'm like, Oliver's not wrong. On that one, I'm so glad Oliver was unfazed.
Look. Here's the thing. All right, look. There are problems with the episode. I get it. I talked about where it stands. It's things like this. Why I'm like, I like this episode because the fact that Oliver was like, oh fuck no, with the Renee shit. I'm like,
that's my Green Arrow. God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Oliver. Because don't you let them try to make them feel
put
sorry
that evil on you.
Yo, he was like, yo, I told him to stand down.
He didn't stand down, so he got knocked the fuck out.
And I also like how he said that, and they showed the flashback of him actually saying, him like, I told him to stand down. He picked up a log and swung it at me.
No, he picked up a log. That was an axe.
Oh, he's swung at an elf, nigga. You're lucky he didn't die.
He axe at me. He's lucky I only kicked him once.
Yo, listen.
Axe at me.
Look here. All right. When you're gonna try to make a person feel bad about the choices they made, you can't show them the good choices.
Do you threaten the child with candy?
Right. Like, you can't do that. You know? Like
that was some Black Order shit.
Like
you threaten the child with candy.
Right. Like it worked good when they did the Laurel, although you could tell that it was definitely like Katie Cassidy after he's gotten the chin job, because I was like, that chin looks.
It was mean.
Yeah,
you didn't say that.
I didn't have to say it, but we all saw it. We all know.
That was,
like,
that was mean.
It's true though.
That was Chris, y'all. That was. Do not put that evil on me. That was Chris.
Look. I have been a defender of this character for a long time. You cannot.
I don't know you. Don't drag me to this.
It's like that Teen Titans Go episode where Robin revealed his face and he just has his magnificent chin and it protrudes out there. Like, yeah, she has like she now has like the chin of like,
wow,
like a mass superhero. Yo, it's like,
what is wrong with you?
Am I wrong though? Exactly.
As in factually wrong, or like wrong as a person?
Well, we know I'm wrong as a person.
Those are different answers.
We know those are different answers. Yes, but like. When she showed up and was like, it was right before he went on to it was supposed to be right before he went on to the Queen's Gambit. I was like, oh, okay, you guys, all right, that's a good one. That's a good choice. That you might about to be able to break him. You could do it. You can break him with that. But then when they put her in the hospital, it's like, oh no, you overplayed your hand.
That wasn't his fault. He told her not to do it.
Right.
She went behind his back and got trained by that Wildcat motherfucker who we never saw again.
Because he didn't get put in tracking. I was gonna say, didn't he also get put in tracking by Oliver? But that was somebody else. Somebody else beat him up, and we never saw him again. He pulled a.
He took his ass whooping and decided to go home and be a family man. Renee,
right?
He learned something from his ass whooping. Renee. I like that character, man.
Oh man, I like how the fact that they decided. They really didn't want to pay him, so they didn't even get the actor. I think they just got his voice, because that was not him underneath that mask, yo.
No, it was not. I didn't want to say it.
I mean, I'm already right. Yeah, that was not him under the mask.
That was not him under that mask. Mm-hmm. I don't care who it was. I want to make that very clear. But I'm not stupid.
No one cares about the man under the mask.
I hate you.
Oh man. Oh, I'm just saying, like on his own, man. Oliver has some bars. You know, when Diggle shows up and it's like, yo, I think there's other ways to do this. Lila
Yo,
asked me to go back.
you know what you say right then? Name one, John.
Well, he does.
What's your plan?
He says Lila's inviting me to work for Argus, and then
That's
Oliver,
not a plan. That's a hey man, I finally got a job.
right.
That's not a plan.
That's
a hey, I can pay my half.
That's financial stability and bare
that's
minimum.
bringing a happier home in the Diggle household. How does that help Oliver?
But I love Oliver's comeback. It was like, last time you needed something from Argus, you had to steal it.
Also not wrong.
Yo, Oliver took out the bars, from last week. Oh man. Oh God, yo.
But I mean, like that's other thing. Like, he's not wrong.
No, he wasn't wrong. He wasn't. And I think that's the thing that I like right now. The only wrong thing to me that Oliver does this episode is basically say, and even then, I'm not sure it's 100% wrong. I think that his decision to be like, yo, I need, I'm not firing you at Overwatch. I'm just saying I need to get back to the basics. I need to get back to where I am. I don't think that's necessarily wrong, depending on how
it's an overcorrection.
It might be overcorrection, but I also think he needs to take some time to figure out what's going on, because he's if you think about what Oliver's done the last 2 seasons, he has made himself a better man. Mm-hmm. But I think, and you're right, maybe this is going a little bit too far overcorrection, but I think his first overcorrection was being too open to what Felicity and Diggle were saying about getting help and bringing other people in, bringing all these other people in, because they have caused problems.
That's a really good point.
And so I think that, depending on what he means by getting back to fundamentals, it could be an overcorrection, or it could be him being like, let's focus on how I got here and get back to thinking about it. It's kind of like how, what Batman does sometimes. We're just like, yo, listen, I need, Robin, you go and do your own thing. I gotta sit down here and actually think about it, because and he has been spreading himself thin. So that's why he wasn't phased when they impeached him, because quite frankly, it needed to happen. He's like, he can't do it all. Like with him having, and it's worked really well with the conversation he had with Thea. With him being a father, him being a husband, him being the mayor of the city, him being a team leader, him being the Green Arrow, like all these things, he can't do them all at the same time. That is something that we know, about this lifestyle of superheroes. Like, it's really hard to do all those things and keep them in balance. And so at some point, something has to go. And Oliver has realized that he's not going to give up the Green Arrow. So if that one doesn't come off the table, then some other things have to. So he's not going to give up his marriage to Felicity. He's not going to give up being the father to his son. That right there might take up all his time right there. That might be,
which was really mature, by the way.
And that's why I say, like, I will say this. While I think that the order of some of these episodes and some of these character plot points that they've done, and I think this really comes down to the idea that it feels like an entirely different show now that we know that Diaz is in charge, because I feel like it's running completely different than what Caden James did. Like, it just feels like I've almost already forgotten what Caden James was about, right?
Right.
All that aside, the one thing I do like, and I think this is something that they've done really well, is the consistency with Oliver's character and the consistency with him growing and being mature and not really backsliding has been pretty good. Like, I've been waiting for Oliver to crack, and I thought this would be the episode, but even when he decides to, like, I need to go back to the fundamentals, I need to get back to the basics, even then it feels oddly mature.
It doesn't feel like a rash decision. It feels like something he's been considering.
Right. I brought all these people in. I've gotten some people hurt. I'm maybe it even come down to it. Hey, you know what? Maybe Diggle's right. Maybe I'm not a good team leader. Maybe that's not the thing. It's not like he's going around telling people that they can't be vigilantes. He's not telling Felicity that, hey, listen, you can't help me. He's just being like, I need to get back to focusing on what got us here in the first place. To get back focused on mission of what we should do. I've had all this other stuff going on, being mayor, being a father, being a husband, being a team leader and trying to do all this stuff, that I literally let Ricardo Diaz infect the city. And in a way, I failed at that, and so I had to get back to my basics of figuring out what to do and how to fix this. And I don't think that that's wrong, and I don't think that that's a backsliding Oliver. I feel like it's I feel like it's a very. So it's like I like what they do there. Again, I have the issues with where they're putting it, and I'm still a little upset about Ricardo Diaz just because I feel like he's been a great villain. I feel like he's been great. Like he feels like the threat that we need right now, and what he's done is great. I just don't like how they revealed it. It feels out of left field. But if we just say if I let that go and say fuck it, this is where we're at now. I like this. I like what they're doing here, and I mean, you're seeing Oliver have to, it is kind of weird that you're now Quentin Lance is now the mayor. Like, how's that come up? Can we talk about that?
All of a sudden, we're like, wait, we got Mayor Lance. Wait a second.
Can we talk about that? Yeah. Can we talk about that come up? Like, we literally have an alcoholic, dirty cop as the new mayor of Star City. Like, you got to put
alcoholic,
Star City.
Dirty deputy mayor. He's not a cop anymore. He hasn't been a cop for a long time because they took his badge at least twice.
No, but he was a dirty cop when he was.
You're right. Twice fired, dirty cop. This guy.
He fails upward somehow. And remember, even now, he is hiding out his not daughter who has killed people. I'm just, whoo, boy. I just, oh my
God. It's a lot.
It is definitely.
Some would say too much.
Just a little bit. If Thea had still been around, she would be deputy mayor, and that would, But instead, we have Quentin Lance now somehow failing upward, and we're gonna have that conversation at some point. I mean, good for him, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, can't knock the hustle, really.
I just
I'm not even mad at him for coming up, but questions.
Yeah, it is one of the things that people bring up when they talk about Black Lightning and Arrow crossing over, and they're like, well, Black Lightning deals with corruption, things like that, and Star City is an Arrow. Like, you literally have, I'm like, I don't. That's going to be an interesting conversation to have because,
because I'm not up on Black Lightning. They've been out corrupted. I'm sorry if it's a corruption off Star City in a landslide.
Well, at least I mean, just it's everybody. Like at this
for
point,
sheer volume of like percentage of corruption.
Like honestly,
corruption per capita.
Honestly, I want to know how Diaz is paying people because he still doesn't have that other money, right? Because Laurel, the new Laurel, still hasn't told him where that other the $70 million was.
A very true thing.
And
he's on that. He's on that. You know what he is? He's on the process.
The process.
He's the process of paying people.
Right. Like maybe that's how this all goes down. They all start realizing that they're he's not paying.
It's just an internal revolt.
Right. Because here's the other thing too. So and this is the thing that nobody talks about when it comes to corruption, like being rampant through a system, right? If everybody in the system is corrupt, how do you turn people? Like
How do
you turn people corrupt? It's like, well, how do you blackmail people? It's like, well, if you turn on me, then I'm going to tell your family. Well, my wife is also on your payroll too. So
really, if everyone's corrupt, it's just like if everyone's not corrupt.
Right,
it just starts to work again.
Right, it just right. Maybe we figured out how to fix Star City. We just make it so corrupt.
Let it fall.
Right. We just, man, Raish and Damien Dark, man, that's what we need right now. We need to bring back Raish and Damien Dark to raise the city because fuck, man, I don't know what to do. I don't.
It's a wrap. Star City's a wrap.
I just move everybody to Keystone.
I guess.
I don't know. Oh man, like, yeah. I don't. This is just the reason why this is a dark show. I mean, it's just like the corruption is blocking out the light. It's just everything's there. And I will say, there's one thing that Quentin did say, and I'm assuming, again, you can never tell sometimes when. So I guess it wasn't Quentin. So I guess this was. Because Oliver never left the bunker at one point, so maybe he did. I'm very confused about because like that when Felicity said she was done, I'm assuming that wasn't him. I mean, we know that wasn't her because she said that wasn't
Right.
me. I wasn't there. I can't remember if he heard the sound before that time when Quentin sat down and talked to him. Because Quentin said something that was very real, and I feel like it makes more impact if it wasn't Quentin, but it was something that was actually in Oliver's head. Because again, we get to see some of these manifestations of what not just Oliver's feelings are, but what his real thoughts are, the things that he's been holding inside, and not telling anybody. And Quentin said he's like, the things that you're complaining about with these other people, these things, the people that you've lost, like Diggle, Dinah, Renee, and all this, they're putting your issues on you, Oliver. Like, they all have their own issues, and they're putting it on you, expecting you to blaming you for things that they did and their choices. And I was like, that's very real. And that's what makes me think that was probably in his head, because I think that's what Oliver really believes, which is why Oliver has been a little bit more forgiving, I think, of when these people go, because he knows they're not really mad at him. He knows that they're lashing out at him because they don't want to face their demons and their choices like he already has.
Exactly. It's something you and I talked about this season was kind of fucked with us because we're like, he didn't do any of this. And now that we recognize that Oliver knows that too, it's like, I know that they're just lashing out.
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense. And
which makes him a much more sympathetic character.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been trying to tell people, it's like, people they'll get on Oliver Queen, and I think they're not really watching Arrow because it's like, the last 2 seasons, Oliver's been right, and he's been a way different person.
He's been right in a way that I can't be right if I was right.
Oh, I would have killed Renee.
I would be so much more petty.
I would have killed Renee.
Oh, I would be very. He swung an axe. He said, "Stand down. I don't want to do this." And Renee responded by swinging an axe at him.
So I guess we're doing this.
That's not an appropriate response.
I would have sent videos to Lila of Diggle and Dinah making goo eyes at each other.
I wouldn't even edit the videos. Like, here's raw footage.
Right.
Look, I'm not even like you can act like I'm trying to throw salt. Like, no, this is what the tape don't lie.
Look,
I feel like a coach right now.
I'm not saying
go to the tape.
I'm not saying he's fucking Dinah. I'm just saying you might want to keep an eye on her, yo.
I'm saying he's trying to.
I'm just. Just saying. I'm just, not trying to throw any, I'm just saying you have long hours. You're not here.
Your life's your life. We're not trying to judge anyone. I'm just letting you. I feel like you should be informed.
Yeah, I'm just,
I would hate to think that you didn't know.
FYI. Me and you have always been cool, Lila. Just saying.
You've always been cool.
Right. Just throwing it out there, Just throwing it out there, just so you know. You might want to have a conversation with Diggle. Ask him. I don't know,
Yo, I would just have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I think he doesn't come home most nights, huh?
Interesting. Weird.
Anyway.
All right. Mm-hmm. Remember, and again, we're not saying there's anything wrong. Remember, he did try to fuck his brother's sister. I mean, as his brother's wife at one time. Remember season 1?
It did happen. Ooh, I forgot. Diggle can be kind of greasy.
Just saying.
Wow.
I remember everything.
Wow. People don't forget the tape does not lie.
The tape does not lie. So, just saying. Anyway, folks, I think that's it. You got anything else you want to say about this episode?
No, you went way further than I was willing to go. Goodness gracious.
I'm just saying.
That was mean as shit.
There's a reason why.
I hate Diggle way more now because I've forgotten all about that shit.
There's a reason why I'm sympathetic to Oliver in all this. Is because, like you said, he can be way more pity.
These people are trash.
People are trash. And they have the audacity to come after him.
Audacity? How dare... I feel like, did I tell you could speak to me?
Right.
Did I tell you were allowed to talk?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And last before we get out of here, Felicity did the right thing. You did stop him going to that room and taking on those cops. I still say he had about a 75% chance of pulling it off.
Oh, I'm not saying it wouldn't have worked. It just wasn't a good idea.
Well, yeah, right. Because I'm just saying, now maybe Green Arrow wouldn't have been able to pull it off. That maybe like 60%. But Hood Arrow, 75-80%. Them people dead.
Why roll the dice? I think she was on some why roll the dice. We can do this smarter.
Well, to be fair, he also didn't even put the mask on. He went full.
Oh, he was coming. Everyone who was leaving was going to leave in a bag.
Yeah. It's like nobody can know my secret. We're going for
what?
It, right? We've been here before.
No, it's cool. I didn't see your face. Snap. What? No.
Doesn't matter. Oh, man.
You could have seen it. You probably lied.
Right. Hey, folks, thank you guys very much for listening. So we were discussing before we recorded the show. The mailbag this month will be recorded early. So we're going to record it on the 22nd. So you have all of this week to get your emails in for the month of April. Send in, your comic book thoughts, anything you're reading, anything you want us to talk about, any feedback, anything like that. Send it in to us by the 22nd, and we'll record the episode then. So, do that. Again, it's mailbag@mtrnetwork.net. So make sure you include the mailbag month. So this will be April in your subject header. So we'll get those and do that there. So. Again, and also don't forget, sign up for do the listener survey. It's helping us out. We're getting some really good information here. And, folks, thank you guys very much for listening. We'll be back soon. Peace.